a trek through a prehistoric jungle, tour a house that has not yet been built. It's called virtual reality, and as Jay Schaefer found out, all it takes is a special helmet and a glove, and you're off.
Hello, welcome to the second VR charity debate. I am your host today, Eric, President, and today we're joined by Thrillseeker of both Twitch and YouTube, as well as Blair, Renaud of Lo-Fi VR, the developer behind the game, with all proceeds being raised for Peeka VR, and more on that in a moment. But big thank you to everyone here who made this possible. Our participants, Thrill and Blair, our sponsors who you see on the screen here, who have already raised enough money to fund several classes in both Idaho and South Carolina. We'll be talking more about that, but thank you to all these sponsors directly helping children. And thank you to everyone who's been spreading the word of this debate and stream. I think this is extremely important content. I think this is where we learn, where VR gets better. And honestly, if I just tweeted it and no one else spread it, it wouldn't get half the attention it does. So thank you guys very much. But we have a lot of clerical items to get through before we start, about a few minutes worth. And that starts with, of course, talking about who we're raising money for today. That's Peeka VR. Now, Peeka VR is creating a mobile platform where kids read, play, and learn in virtual reality. Now, on their app, children will jump into the pages of their favorite books in VR, where it works with publishers to bring their most popular IPs into VR, thereby giving them a stake in the future of storytelling. By experiencing their favorite stories in VR, children have this opportunity to engage deeper with reading and increase their reading comprehension. Now, this is honestly a marketplace in a category of VR that really doesn't exist quite yet. Children's VR is really not a big thing, so therefore they must be the content creators and forge the way for VR studios and IP owners to easily publish to their platform. Funds for this stream, everybody, I cannot be more adamant about this. Funds for this stream are directly going to schools in Idaho and South Carolina. So we have a specific use to raise funds for those schools to give kids Peeka VR and VR to learn by. So Peeka VR, I have a son, obviously, new son, and I'm not happy with the educational system. So thank you for trying new things to get our kids engaged with education. I appreciate that. Big note on donating. You'll see the donate link pop up through the chat throughout this stream. If you'd like to support this channel at all, do the standard YouTube stuff. You can subscribe, you can like, you can watch. I don't care. But do not donate to me under any circumstance. If you'd like to support the channel with a donation, use the donate link that's in the video description or the chat. Under no circumstance do I want you donating to me. I cannot be more adamant about that, but I appreciate the support for anyone who wanted to. Again, charity. But we do need to go over the rules for today's debates. The rules of engagement are very straightforward and very easy. A single participant will be asked a question individually. That person addressed will have 2 minutes or so to respond. That time will be dependent on the question asked and the flow of conversation. I will not cut off anyone under a good thought. Once that time is up, the debate floor will then open to both participants, who will have 5 to 8 minutes max to debate. Again, as long as the conversation is flowing, I will not cut off that unless we need to. And the first person to speak will be the one not asked the question directly. Now, I will not be live time fact checking this. I want both participants to feel encouraged to say whatever they want without fear of any fact checking, gotcha type questions. We are here to learn from each other. I'm not wasting time fact checking. Moderation will be near zero unless needed. If a question is dodged, if a question isn't answered, or it needs follow-up, I will chime in. But other than that, I'll be sitting here pretty quiet other than asking questions. And finally, before we get to our sponsors and then open up the debate floor, I want to make it a big point here. And you might have seen this on Twitter. If you came here to support either Thrill or Blair, and that's it, you came here with the mindset to say that's the winner, that's who I want to root for, it's a harsh word, but you will be the only loser of this debate. We are here to have no winners or losers. We have two people here with a tremendous amount of insight, a tremendous amount of opinions that matter. And this is your chance to hear both sides, learn a little bit, and take away a lot from this while raising money for a great cause. So, no camps, no winners and losers. This is what VR needs to me. This is the content I want to see. But this type of content and the money we've raised already for Peeka VR thing is mostly due to our sponsors, and I do want to go over our first sponsor real quick, that being VRML. The VR Master League is the largest VR esports league with thousands of active players, and founded in 2016, VRML has grown exponentially to encompass leagues for multiple popular VR titles. Their mission is easy. It's to create a fair, community-driven, and welcoming competitive environment for its members. Each league has dedicated community members who volunteer their time and services to help shape the league around VR game they love. With flexible weekly scheduling, a skill-based matchmaking system, and communities willing to help new players, joining the VRML is easier than ever. You can head over to vrml.com for more information and to join a VR esports league today. That info down in the video description. But on a personal note, there's no better competitive environment out there to have fun, feel encouraged, and learn. This is where I got into Onward with, and I couldn't have learned it better because of these guys. So VRML League, thank you again for supporting the cause. But with that being said, mics are going to be live now for all participants. Mics are live, and we head to the debate floor. We'll start by introducing, thank you, Blair, for joining this debate.
For having me.
And Thrill, thank you as well, my man.
Hey there.
So we're going to jump right into this. Thrill will be the first one up on the hot seat with a question directed to him. Thrill, the question is this. Currently, there is a large post in the Oculus Quest subreddit, I don't think anyone missed it, with many criticisms of VR YouTubers. Now, we're likely going to cover many of their points during this debate, but the one that sticks out to me is the notion that VR YouTubers are jacks of all trades, masters of none, where information is regurgitated with no deeper knowledge or insight added, so it's not value other than summaries. But being on YouTube yourself, do you feel like you're part of the problem? Where do you fall on that spectrum? And what is the piece of knowledge that you could pass on to your fellow creators if you had to, one piece, to combat that specific criticism?
Right. So there's this whole notion that, which I read every single comment in this Reddit thread. And there's this notion that we are a jack of all trades, and we don't, but that's actually giving us a compliment in my opinion. But the idea is that we don't actually know what we're talking about. There's no deeper knowledge. There's no actual research done. And it's just a summary of what happened. Or, say a V29 update or V30 update happens and people make a video about it. It's just a summary of what Oculus posted. It's just regurgitating the release notes. And I think one thing that people are seriously missing out on is the value of the opinion and the value of summarizing many things together. I think Tuesday Newsday, for example, is something special because it takes everything that happened throughout the week. Nothing goes into very, very deep detail because any of the topics that I have on Tuesday Newsday, I could easily make a 10, 12-minute video on every single one. But instead, it's 2-3 minutes on 5 or 6 things, that happened throughout the week. And a lot of that is factual information that I take from other places or release notes or press releases or even Road to VR or Upload VR or other places like that. And I put my spin on it and my opinion on what happened. And so it's a full package of the composite details of what happened that week. And if there are people that value that and that that's what they're looking for, and they enjoy the opinion pieces, and then there are people that just want the facts. They just want the information and they want it as fast as possible. And I'm not going to lie, my YouTube channel and Tuesday Newsday and a lot of other people's news videos or update videos, maybe that's not for you. Maybe a Reddit thread is for you, where it's very clearly in 2 sentences what this update was. And I think that Road to VR and Upload VR and Reddit and Twitter all have their place, and so does longer form opinion pieces on YouTube. And so to not value that opinion or the work put to put it together into an entertaining package, to where I know not everybody goes on Upload VR and looks at the news every single day, right? That's just not something I expect out of a typical VR enthusiast. But you could watch a video in your recommended every week from me or Steve Knows or whoever you want to watch. And so I think you're missing half of the equation, and some people will just miss that because that's not the kind of content that they like, and that's perfectly fine. Do I think I'm a part of this problem? about this jack of all trades, master of none, regurgitated information. I guess sort of, but I don't think it's a problem. It's a format of content, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
All right, and with that, we will open up the debate floor. Blair, you have the first rebuttal.
I mean, I don't really have anything to argue against there. I mean, yeah, there's a big difference in the quality of different creators. So to say that, or to even compare something like what Thrill does to what, maybe just a smaller YouTuber does versus what somebody that just posts Let's Plays, like they're all completely different. And like I don't see a problem with like Thrill's format in particular. I should say that I hadn't even seen any of his content before this debate was announced, so I didn't know what exactly I was up against. But as far as that Reddit thread goes, I think it was more. I didn't dive into the comments. I try and stay out of Reddit these days. It used to be kind of the main. Before there were big VR YouTubers, that's all we had was Reddit, and that's like how you got people to hear about your game. But it's slowly become just kind of like a place to complain, and so I got out. But the headline of that Reddit post was something about, the update being huge and like just kind of overhyping the news. And I think that was the point that I saw in it. Was it's just kind of silly, that every time something happens in VR, no matter how small it is, there's 500 YouTubers all jumping on it and like trying to get the most clicks they can out of the video. And in general, there's not a lot of clicks to be had. Like I said, I didn't know of Thrill really before this, but looking at his content, he seems to get all of it. And then like 1,000 views are divided up between 500 other guys. So I think the reason I thought that post was funny was just because of that situation. It wasn't really that like I think anyone's posting crappy content or anything, or like that they don't know what they're talking about. I'm sure like the format of Thrill stuff, like the Tuesday Newsday, it's great. Like I said, like it's great to have all of your news aggregated in one spot and look at it in an entertaining way. So I don't see a problem with that at all.
What to you, Blair and Thrill, you can step on this one as well. I'm going to ask one follow-up question to this. When it comes to the comments in that thread about them being masters of none, not bringing the knowledge with them, but more the opinion, where's that line drawn when it's okay to not have all the answers, but to spread that information in an enthusiastic, entertaining way? And when does it turn into armchair expert?
So I'll go first here. I've learned along the way. I'm not saying everything I do is right. Everything that every YouTuber does is right. I've made mistakes. I've overhyped things that people physically can't buy. I've been very well. I'm excited about consumer VR. I'm excited about enterprise. I'm excited about everything in between and everything beyond. And I've learned along the way that as fun as it is to hype something up and you get the views and you get the excitement and people are so pumped, everything falls on its face really fast whenever you start talking about a new headset coming out that's enterprise only, that is great, costs $2,000, and I'm saying in my title, this headset is incredible, amazing. Doesn't matter, yeah, it's still fun news, but like, I think that this whole hype train thing is view-driven hype trains. Definitely, people need to be more careful about it, content creators, and then because people watching are becoming way more aware of these things about what matters and what doesn't. So not only is it bad for the content creator because they're going to eventually drive out their core audience, but it's also bad for everybody else because they feel like the entire VR industry doesn't pertain to them. And so that's something I've been trying to really focus on switching. I think that's something that other content creators can really take my advice on and focus on things that are more that pertain to them, that pertain to their audience, if that makes sense.
Before we move on, Blair, anything you want to say?
I just want to like add to the problem of hyping things. Not so much hardware. I mean, like, yeah, there's things either stick or they don't. I think I'm just kind of depressed more about the hyping of new games or experiences that come out, and it's like it seems like every month or so, it's like, oh, here it is. This is the game. This is gonna be amazing. And like all the outlets are doing it right now with that game. I can't even remember the name of it because it's stupid. It's like, what is it?
The Overwatch clone?
Yeah, the Overwatch clone. And it's like, I've been watching this happen for 7 years, and it's like nothing sticks. It's like there's hype. The thing comes out, and then it fizzles away within like a week. It's like there's more hype leading up to a game than there is hype about the game when it launches. And it's like it's happened with everything except, like the 5 experiences that have been around for 4 years, right? Like whatever, Beat Saber and Pistol Whip and like Pavlov or whatever your choice of shooter is. But like, yeah, the hype is not it I don't know, it just gets annoying after a long time, It's like, yeah, I know, okay, it's gonna be the next big thing. This is what's gonna sell the headsets, and then it's like as soon as it launches, it dies like a week later. I don't hear anything about it because everyone's done their 20-minute video on the content and they're done with it. Like there's no more clicks to be had, and nobody's talking about it, right? So it goes away. So it's just like an endless cycle of hype with no payoff for me.
I think we'll circle back to that. Thought I would definitely table that. I think you'll find a question in the future. We'll touch base on that. But Blair, I do want to open the debate floor directly to you with a question directed. Now, you have called VR influencers grifters, naming some directly by name, and stated back in 2020 that there was not one VR influencer making any sort of impact on the VR industry as a whole. From a developer's perspective, who is currently on itch.io and Steam currently, with the lack of visibility on stores like Steam and itch.io, how can you ignore the impact VR influencers have on giving relatively the most visibility to developers not on the Oculus Store? Is this imposing views and thoughts on their intentions? Why can't we give more attention to how it is synergistic between us all?
Well, first, I think we need to kind of delineate between grifters, influencers, YouTube content creators. Like, I'm not saying, I never said that all VR YouTubers are grifters, because that's not true. I have named specific VR YouTube grifters, and maybe we'll come back to that later. But we've got, people that are like asking for money from developers to cover their content would be a grifter. Influencers generally, I would say, are the type of person that puts influencer in their Twitter bio, right? You've got these people that have like 50,000 Twitter followers and 0 engagement and just hashtag garbage all day and call themselves influencers. So those people, they're not even grifters. They're just losers. I don't know what to call those people. But like, again, the YouTuber, like YouTube content creators for VR, I have no problem with for the most part, unless they are grifting. Like there are ones that have paid money for their followers, right? Like they have it, they're obviously fake numbers, like most of the numbers anyway. I'm sure they have people that have come on afterwards, but like, yeah, and then trying to charge developers, like indie developers, insane amounts of money. I've heard from some of my friends like up to 20 grand for coverage because they're the biggest VR YouTuber, right? And they're in the Guinness Book of World Records, you know? Again, I'm not naming anyone. You know? Anyway, so like, as far as getting eyes on your product, and needing influencers, I don't think you do need influencers. What you need to do is make something dope that's worthy of hyping up, right? Like if I do my job right, then the content creators want to show it because they're going to get clicks. It's not, I like, you know, it should be a symbiotic relationship, and there should be no communication between us. I don't have to say, hey, here's my thing, can you cover it? It should be them saying, oh, that looks amazing, I'm going to cover it on my channel, or like retweet it because it looks amazing. It's not, you know, otherwise it becomes shady. It becomes a grift. If my content isn't worthy of getting clicks on a YouTube channel for a VR creator, then it's not. Like, I'm not going to pay money to shove my garbage in people's faces, right? So, yeah, I think that's it.
All right, and the debate floor is now open. Thrill, you have the floor for the first comment.
So I'll just go straight out. I don't, you've probably heard this a million times. I don't like the term influencer. I think it's I don't know. It's not the right kind of, yeah, okay, there is influencing going on. I'm not denying that. But I don't like the term influencer, and I don't like when people use the term influencer to call themselves an influencer, right?
Yeah.
If you have an influence, if you have influence, you have influence. That should be unsaid. You don't have to go say, oh, I'm an influencer. Content creator, on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe that's a better title. Now, in terms of games and showing off games, I totally get that. There are, I feel bad constantly because I get dozens of emails a week, sometimes more than that, with keys right there in the email for a game that I don't have time to try. I don't have time to make content on. I can't cover every single game. And plus, every game is not worth covering. Like, let's be real. I kind of want to loop back a little bit on, you were talking about their fizzle games that are hyped. Upload covers it, I cover it, everyone talks about it. And then the game comes out, and then people see through the cracks, which that's the problem. People see through the cracks. A lot of these VR games, there are cracks into how these games are fundamentally handled, whether it's not having cross-platform play, whether it's being exclusive to one platform, or the game itself being not up to par with what people expect, or developers just abandon the project. That happens too. And so there's so many factors into things. I mean, really, if I were to say something, the secret to success in the VR community is making a polished game that's multi-platform, cross-play, cross-buy, and is free to play. It hasn't happened yet, but that's the secret. Just in case there's devs out there, you know, yeah, charging for content sucks, but for certain content creators, there is a very real service to be given. Which I personally, the only time I have taken direct money for any game was, I think I took $200 for a Twitch stream to cover a game that I haven't even heard of. I've never heard of since, and I streamed it for 2 hours. That's the only money I've ever taken. I don't like taking money for games. But there is a point to be made. That's just me personally. There's a point to be made that there is a very real service if you have a good audience that trusts you and the person making the content believes in the game. If I believe in a game and the developer wants to throw money my way, then they will get a return of some point of some amount, because I don't cover games very often. So whenever I do, it's a bigger deal. I wish that more content creators did this rather than, oh, well, this company offered this money, so I'm going to take it. Personally, I only charge for content if I don't want to make the content. I'll just give you like a very real example, Pinball VR, which I'm sorry if I didn't sign any papers, so I'm not breaking anything. But Pinball VR offered if I wanted to like take money to make a video on their game, very standard content creator stuff. And I gave them a very ridiculous offer. I didn't want to make a video on Pinball VR. I gave them a ridiculous monetary offer because I was like, shit, like money on the table. I like Star Wars. I actually bought a Han Solo costume to do for this video. Or it's like wear for the video too. Like I was in it. And then I found out that it doesn't have Valve Index support or Vive support or anything on Steam VR. And so I said, fuck that. And I left. And I left the deal. But I'm saying offers and money for a service, it's a service. At that point, if you are promoting a game and it's a paid promotion, it's a service, and I don't mind other content creators taking money for that, as long as they have the numbers to back it up, and there's a realistic expectation between the developer and the content creator. You know, charging $20,000 for a video that gets 100,000 views, that's garbage. That's terrible. A few $1,000s to send your game out to a few 100,000 people, then that might be a little different. But that's a kind of ridiculous number. Yeah, I agree.
But what if you're okay? First of all, you need to say up front that it's a paid promotion. I would say anyway. Secondly, like, what if you like those numbers, those engagement numbers on the video are just like a click farm, you know? Like there are YouTubers I know for sure, they have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and even up to like, you know, whatever, 500,000 views on a video or something, but the numbers never match. Like it's not, you know, like I know that there are ways to buy followers. People do it. Like it happens all the time. And so you run into a few problems here. Say, okay, you pay maybe whatever, $5,000 for a content creator to do a video. Then first of all, if you have to pay, like I said, it's probably not worth it for you because like people are going to see it and be like, oh, well, this is just crap. Mm-hmm. Like, so like,
which is why I don't like to have sponsored content. It muddies your opinion.
Totally.
And in terms of the fake viewership, I've seen in the VR space, especially a few years ago before I even hopped in, which I don't necessarily think this is on the part of the content creators. There are videos out there right now from multiple content creators from years ago, mainly 2017, 2018, a little bit of early 2019, very clearly fake engagement or fake views. You can look at something and tell if there was views bought. And I'm not throwing any names, but it's out there and I understand completely. I understand, especially from people that have been in the scene for a while and watched it happen live. I understand the feeling of it's all just fake numbers. But there are people that do, there are people that don't, and the numbers and the engagement and the comments and the likes, they speak for themselves. If you've got a video with 1 million views and it's got 20 comments, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
I think this has been good. Blair, I'm going to give you the last statement on this one. So yeah. Blair, you got the floor.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying is like when I get mad and say something rude on Twitter, like influencers or like whoever, even if I name somebody that I know is like grifting, mm-hmm. It's because it's bad for everybody. It's not because I'm like I hate that person or something. It's because it's like, okay, no, this is bad for the developer who paid the money is getting fake engagement that's being bought probably with a portion of the money that they paid for the thing. It's bad for the creator because like they're saying like they're just making themselves look bad by showing off garbage and saying like trying to sell it. it's not good for anybody. So it's like that makes me upset because that means it's bad for the industry as a whole, right? It's like we're selling garbage. We're making both parties look like garbage. The developer who's already like low on money is losing money. It's like it's just a terrible situation to be in.
We're gonna move on.
I'm also one last thing.
I'll give you one last thing, my man, and we gotta move on.
I'm very confident that a lot of these content creators are more victims of bad deals than anything. I think that it was the companies that made deals with these content creators early on. They're very old school marketing, and they thought that they were buying promotion for something, and instead they bought views. I do not think that these people legitimately wanted to deceive people and pump up their numbers. It doesn't do them anything. It costs them money. It doesn't make them any money. It doesn't do anything. It costs them money. Not even, it's not cheap either. It's a lot of fucking money. And so I almost guarantee that these companies that they sign with to make videos for are the ones that falsely promoted, and I think it was bad deals.
There may be a question.
Nothing to back that up, but
there may be a question coming up soon that may get back to that, so I would definitely table that. But I do want to move on to our next sponsor today that I do need to give major props to, and that is ProTube for supporting this stream. A big thank you to ProTube for also sponsoring. Now, ProTube VR develops, produces, and distributes VR peripherals all over the world. Their goal, very simple: improving your immersion and feeling in VR. They are one of the only ones to produce haptic solutions for your gunfire needs. ProTube was one of the first VR accessories that I ever purchased. I was playing Last Stand, if anyone remembers that game with it. And if you are competitive at all in first-person shooter VR games, it's the perfect tool for scoping, aiming, and playing without any shakiness. Up your game with ProTube VR. Again, if you're playing Onward, Pavlov, any game, Last Stand, do people still play that game? I'm not sure. But it will automatically up your game in most of these. So, ProTube VR, thank you for helping the cause, raising money, bringing VR to children's school. I thank you greatly. And with that, we are going to go to our next question. Thrill, you were on the hot seat for this one.
Right.
The question is, there are many outlets for VR news that do quite a bit of legwork, reaching out to studios, talking to company execs, and more. You've brought two of them up, the ones that I brought up, Road to VR and Upload VR. Yet these entities doing most of the legwork get very little to no attention comparatively to VR YouTubers and influencers who more often than not are not doing most of the outreach for the info, but obtaining it from those sources and then sharing it with their base. What obligation do VR creators and influencers have to do more of the investigative journalism, to do a better job citing sources, and to do a better job being journalists rather than sensationalists?
Right. So I've talked directly with a few people from Road to VR, Upload VR, Scout as well, VR Scout as well. I use their content that they do, that they spend money on, and the work. They are doing the work. I'm not on like half of what I would say about half, maybe more, of what I cover every week is directly pulled from what they did. I'm not saying that's not the case. The rest of it, sometimes I find things on my own, and I try my hardest to find things on my own that are interesting and that are captivating to like the entire VR community, that are not Upload and all these other companies. The problem is, these companies don't talk to us. We don't get press passes. We don't have the same love or connections that they have. HTC hasn't responded to me for the past 6 months, and probably why? Because I've dissed them multiple times. But you know what? They gave me an award. They gave me top 25, whatever, influencer, but they won't talk to me. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Sorry, I might be burning some bridges here, but this is where it comes to, we're not treated the same. We don't have the same contacts. We don't have the same ways to talk to people, get official statements. Upload VR is over here getting official statements from HTC. They haven't even replied to an email asking a simple question. HP is asking every single content creator that I know for review units back. You know what I mean? Like, this is the kind of situation, we don't get the same treatment that these other companies do. And like I went and okay, I'll just tell you like a quick story that kind of sums up how, and this was going to be in a video that I was going to post about this thing, but I'll just talk about it here. That kind of sums up how I feel about this. I went to OC6. I flew my ass there. I went there. I bought my ticket, and I'm sitting in line for about 3 hours for Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. And I had a great conversation with some VR chat devs behind me. It was awesome. Meanwhile, I'm looking around. These dudes with press passes are cutting lines, getting in front of everybody, and it's cool. They have press passes. They should get first priority. And then I get to the front of the line, and the line closes. I never got to try out Medal of Honor Above and Beyond a year before it came out. Who knows? Maybe if I made a slam piece video about it, it would have changed the production course. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. But what my point is, not that they should not have priority, because they're providing an awesome service to the entire VR community, and we need them. We need Upload. We need Road to VR. We need VR Scout, and give them the press passes. But we need similar treatment too. And until we have that treatment, until we have our contacts and our PR contacts and people that we can ask for direct comments on things, we're going to constantly always be second man. I get the press releases the same time as everybody else. There's a reason why I make my videos on Tuesday morning, because I wake up early, 4 a.m. Tuesday morning, and make my video, because that's the most cutting edge news that I have. And we need better treatment. I don't know how to go about this. I mean, I've literally gotten an award by a company that won't respond to me for a simple question.
With that being said, I am going to open the debate floor. Blair, you have the first response.
Yeah, this goes back to what I was saying, that it's like it needs to be more of a kind of symbiotic relationship with content creators, because right now it's like a lot of people see YouTubers and influencers as kind of like leeches on the content, where like Upload or whatever news site might see it as they're stealing their news and just broadcasting that, and developers also see like they do a let's play and show somebody like spoil the entire game for them, and they don't need to buy it anymore, right? Where it needs to kind of be somewhere in the middle, where because someone like Thrill is getting all of the engagement, right? Like they're getting way more engagement than just a video of his is probably getting more clicks than the entire Upload site gets in a month, right? Like per video. Like I don't know, I'm just guessing, but like it looks that way, because even if you look at like Oculus's YouTube channel has like no engagement whatsoever. They've kind of upped their game a little bit with their annoying Twitter person, so they're getting a little bit of engagement on that end. But that's not my cup of tea. I don't deal with that. But yeah, I don't know what it is though, and it's not my job. I don't care. Like, but we need to figure out a way that YouTubers are seen more as something helpful, but maybe it's that they need to keep these things in mind, like that they are kind of taking other people's content, and like I don't know what that means. I don't know if that changes what they're doing, but like if you're just completely oblivious to that, then maybe it's a problem.
Right, and so in my mind, I for a long time I felt guilty 100%, because without Upload and Road to VR and VR Scout and anybody else that's professionally with journalists covering this thing, and they have the contacts to get all this information out of people, without them, Tuesday Newsday does not exist. It just doesn't. And so for a long time I did feel guilty, but instead I really try and make it a point I have a sources section in every video, and if I used a link, even if I don't talk about it directly, I put it in there. And even if 1% of everybody that watches the video clicks on one of those links, that's a few thousand views on an article that would not have occurred if I didn't make a video on it. So it is symbiotic in a way, just it's sketchy. I mean, it's news, it's press, so I'm allowed to use it in kind of whatever way I want. That's just the way things are. But these people are doing work, and they are not getting the revenue or the views from it. I am, and I am fully aware of that. And I don't know what to do differently other than make sure I provide sources and make sure that people know, I mean, very clearly, I if I have an article title in like a picture, it'll say by Ben Lang. You know, like
Right,
I
right.
try and make sure that happens, and I know other people do. Nobody wants to be accused of stealing content. That's the worst shit in the world.
Mhm.
But yeah, a more symbiotic relationship. I'm not talking about revenue sharing because I don't think that's fair either. But a more symbiotic relationship to where we help each other out and push each other up is how I would want things to go in the future. And this is literally just by communication. The fact that it hasn't happened sooner is probably more to blame for me. But
Mhm.
And I do want
Yeah,
to
I
move
wonder if
on.
this covers.
But Blair, I'm gonna give you
Sorry.
the last word here, and then we will move
I
on.
was just gonna say, like, I wonder if this conversation's going on kind of outside of VR, and I just wasn't paying attention. Like this happens with everything. Like it doesn't matter who. Like if you're watching a kind of alternative news source on YouTube, they're all pretty much doing the same thing, right? It's like commentary on other people's articles. Um, yeah, and like I said, I don't know what the solution is, but like I don't really care. It's like if it's like it's not my problem, It's whoever. It's the mainstream media's problem, or it's the content creator's problem. But I think just having everyone know all this can really help leverage things. Like what we did, where I asked you if you like prove to me that like an influencer can yeah, like I feel like the jerk now because it's like okay,
Blair,
no, that
Blair.
worked.
That's
Yeah,
that's the next question.
Oh,
So
okay, sorry. Go ahead.
we'll get let's move on then, since we're getting right into that. Blair,
Yeah.
you're in the hot seat for this one. So there's always been the discussion of influencers using the work of developers, monetizing it with the trade-off argument that the attention to said developers' work leads to more visibility and sales. Like you just brought up, you were very vocal against this notion and state that the influencer attention has very little effect on sales. Can you provide any empirical or anecdotal evidence to prove your point, and where does that mindset stem from?
So yeah, like well, I have real-time analytics, right? And this isn't my first VR game. They've all had real-time analytics. I talked to a bunch of developers in a Discord that have been around since day one, and we all break our NDAs and share our numbers. But so for the most part, this is kind of a new thing. Like Thrill in particular is like an actual like VR YouTuber with an audience. This is kind of a new thing. As like normally I don't get a bump in sales unless it's something like somebody that's kind of outside of VR but has a lot of VR followers, like D from Node. What's he go by now? Cerberus something. Did a video and I saw a really decent bump from him. But generally, like if any VR YouTuber or influencer does a video, it doesn't really affect anything. What affects sales is store presence. Like, when you put on the headset and your game is right there in front of the user, you're going to get sales. Otherwise, you're not getting any sales. It doesn't matter because people aren't going to go from a YouTube video generally to the headset and search something. Like, there's enough friction already between just the headset and the user. Never mind, like, now we've got, saw it on YouTube, saw it on Twitter, looked it up, then put on the headset, then downloaded it. And like, we can see this every time. It's the same thing for content creators, right? Like, you have to kind of jerk the algorithm around to get visibility on the store, right? It's the same with YouTube. Like, you're not going to get seen unless you have the right title, the right thumbnail, and you're on the person's front page when they log on to their YouTube. Got nothing to do with the content itself for the most part, or like who else outside is promoting it. It's like, you could tweet about a YouTube video all day and not get any views on it. It's all about where it is on the front of YouTube. And it's the same thing with games. That said, Thrill did a stream of lo-fi and did mentioned it in his Tuesday Newsday, and I did see a pretty significant bump for there was a bump. I got 53 sales the day of the video, and then a pretty even ramp down over the next 4 days, back down to I average 5 sales a day right now in early access, which is fine for a VR title. So yeah, it can happen, but here's the problem. Say I got 200 sales out of awesome videos from Thrill. That's less money than some influencers are asking to do a promotion of the content. So again, is it worth it in the end? It's worth it if you can trick somebody into doing it. But if you're paying for it, it's like you just shot yourself in the foot.
And we will open up the debate floor. One quick thing before Thrill speaks. I see the question in the chat. Blair is the developer behind Lo-Fi VR, LOW-FI. Check him out on Steam VR, itch.io. And I believe he's coming to PS5, correct, Blair? Yep. So that's that. His links will all be in the video description as well. So just want to give that. But Thrill, you do have the floor.
Right. So I just crunched a couple numbers, and that was actually one of my worst performing videos in a while. I'm really glad that you even saw a sales bump, because sometimes you never know, people might not be very receptive with it. But hey, and you got to think about it this way too. That's, say, 53 people. If half of them tell a buddy about a game, I don't know, that could turn into 70 long term, right? And so I'm telling you right now, that what I was saying about crunching numbers, that I would have charged more than what you made if I were to charge for something. Just being real.
Yeah.
And so yeah, a lot of times there is not, unless somebody legitimately wants to promote a game because they care about it or like it or love it, or they have a connection with the developer, it doesn't make sense financially right now in VR to charge VR developers to promote a game. I personally, I hate charging VR devs unless it's directly from Oculus and they're fronting the money. Sure, I'll take Facebook's money, cool. But taking direct money from developers, it feels very terrible, because that every single sale of a VR game is important. Every single one. I will say here, in terms of, if you guys wanted to see some spicy action, Blair, bro, you're doing things wrong. You need to have a community built up. You need to have your Discord built up. You need to have a group of people that are into your game, that are into you. You're missing out. You're I feel like you're in this toxic circle on Twitter of kind of angry people and bitter people, whenever you could be taking in so much love and support from the VR community if you had a community, but you don't. And I feel like you don't see the value in it. And you need to have that Discord. You need to have those developer notes in the Discord server. You need to have people talking about your game, and a place where people can come and talk about your game with you or with people that you work with. That is what you need to do. And until you do that, you are missing the steps, man. Just heart to heart, being real. You may not see the value in it, but 2021, dog.
All right.
If Blair, you have a chance to respond. If not, I do have a follow-up question, but I'm going to give you the chance first.
So I don't know. So I think this is kind of a miss. You don't know. I'm just gonna say, that what you're saying makes sense for what you do, right? Having a Discord with a bunch of yammering people that you get hyped up about free content you're giving makes sense. For me, I do have a core community. I've got whatever, I don't know how much, 7,000 people on Twitter or whatever, which isn't a lot, but my engagement for Twitter is insane compared to people with fake, followers. We do have a Discord, but it's for people who are excited about the game enough to buy it. right? And they all talk about it in there. We've got the notes, but it's like say having a Discord. Okay, am I running the Discord, like a public Discord? Because I don't have time for that. I'm trying to make a crazy AAA game as a single indie developer, with a couple freelancers. I don't have time to listen to all that noise. I get enough noise from my private Discord, and it's not that. Not only is that taking my time away, but that's not driving sales, which is, for a developer, that's all that matters. It's not views. Like, people, like I said, the only way to sell it to somebody is for it to, like, either they have to be interested in the first place in the type of content I'm creating, or it's got to be on a storefront in front of their face, or like if I can get them from Twitter or from Discord to go and buy the game, that's like that's a miracle. It's a miracle that happens. And like, having a bunch of yahoos in a Discord that I have to wrangle that's not going to help. I mean, yeah, sorry.
It's not for you to. It's not a job that you have to do. There are people, I guarantee you, out of the 50 people that bought the game, there's even one of them is passionate enough about your project that they would be so happy to be an admin or a mod. And I know that. Ask Stress Level 0, or ask Vale, or ask Zenith, or ask Population 1. Ask any of these games and their developers if their Discord community is essential to what they're doing. You don't have the CEO of these companies running their Discords. I don't run my Discord. I've got staff for that.
But okay, so like, first of all, Zenith is a good example. Their CEO reached out to me on Discord to ask how they should, like, to look over their Kickstarter before they ran it. Like,
right. Well, no,
they're not making more sales off of their Discord community. I
completely disagree. I completely disagree that.
Okay, but like, how would you know that? Like, this is what I'm saying. This is my business. Like, I know how to run my business.
But you don't have a Discord server for your game.
I do. I have a private Discord server.
A private Discord server. There's a very big difference. Right, Boneworks was big because of its, yeah, that's definitely true. But these communities built around games, it is important. And I'm not so much saying that I know way more than you. It's just that you're missing out on a whole section of things that could help you out. It's not going to hurt you. It's just going to make things easier and better because people have a place to talk about the game, to invite their friends to talk about the game. You want to know what I wanted? If you can't secure a sale, right? As a content creator, if I can't secure a sale on a game, I can bring them to a Discord server, and eventually they may buy the game.
Well, why would they go on the Discord server if they're not interested in the game?
This shows you don't understand Discord. You don't understand the way that communities work.
Okay, but so I'm on other. What's to stop me from going onto your Discord and promoting my game? Or like,
you can. You
exactly.
totally can.
Or like there's tons of like big VR Discords that I'm in that
right.
Like, I could even ask them to make a lo-fi channel, but it's not like. Yeah, I don't. It's not as big a driver as you think it is, and like it's the same for like.
It's small.
Like I said,
it's small,
like I said,
but it's the quality. It's not about the quantity, dog. It's about the quality of the interaction. There's a very big important factor that you're looking at it from numbers.
You're looking at it from my eyes on your content.
Blair, people love you, dude. I need them to
open their wallet.
You're
and
a
give
solo
money.
dev making a sick game. People want to interact with you and learn from you, and you're not letting
buy my
people
game. Let's go chat in the Discord.
Yes, that's fine. Nobody looks away from that. It's not a bad thing. Buy my game, come on my Discord, let's chat. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Gentlemen, I'm going to cut this off to go to a sponsor spot, but we're going to break tradition of flip-flopping questions. Blair, you will get another question next because I think this will bring this conversation a little further so we don't have to cut it off too far. But I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors who have been raising money already for kids in need. First one, Between Realities, another amazing VR content creator duo out there that's supporting the cause. Between Realities is a virtual reality podcast from the philosophical gamer's perspective. Join them weekly and take part in the discussion. Now, if you want more real discussions with some of the pillars of the VR community, you have to listen to this podcast because it really is perfection, and that's not an ad spot, that's my personal opinion. Here, Alex VR and Skiva, they dive deeper into VR, much more than the surface level, and I might be a little biased, but VR is much more than gaming to me, and Between Realities takes this idea and goes way beyond. I would recommend, if you haven't seen them before, check out their episode with Ken Bai. If you are not hooked, if that shit doesn't honestly get you going, hyped for VR, understanding the importance of it, maybe VR is not for you. I'm just being honest. Check out and subscribe to their YouTube channel now. Link will be down in the video description. Thank you, Between Realities, for being a sponsor of this stream. And I also want to give a thank you to another content creator, another channel sponsoring the stream, Rendered Reality, where they strive to bring you the freshest and easiest way to keep up with all the new VR content, as well as give everybody from gamers to developers a place to connect and help each other throughout their exciting industry. Now, they've worked with many companies and developers to bring honest, first-hand experiences and will continue to do so. They are another amazing VR podcast out there and also content community. They're not just a podcast, that I've not only enjoyed the content but been on their show as well. I will say that when they invited me to be on their show, literally the first thing they said is, "Bro, we don't want to talk about gaming. We got to talk about some other stuff." That is the type of content that I want to back. It's the type of content that you should watch, and I appreciate what they're doing. Thank you, Rendered Reality, for being a sponsor on the stream. Steve, welcome to the chat as well. Thank you for the donation, but I do want to make it clear, everybody. I know, Steve, you might be joining a little late. If you want to take care, donate, support the channel, the best way you can do it is by donating to charity. I'll put that donation link again in the video description. Guys, I appreciate the donations, but they're not needed. Charity is where it needs to be. Let's get some kids some stuff in school. But, Blair, like I said, we want to break a little tradition here, come back to you, because I think this question that was going to be asked a little bit later, it is more a continuation of what we're talking about, but I still think it's important. Now, the opinions of VR influencers, they come with a power dynamic that is definitely more appealing to the eyes than most developers are going to accomplish on YouTube. But their opinions are not, in my opinion, acknowledging the experiences that you as a developer, indie developer, have and have likely encountered from other indie developers. And due to that, VR influencers don't have that knowledge to reflect on what matters to VR devs currently. This might be a continuation of the Discord story. Having the opportunity right now here to give one piece of feedback to VR influencers, and there's one across from you, many in the chat. How would you give them one tip, one piece of feedback to better understand VR developer issues? What would that be?
I don't know. I mean, like, it goes back to the problem of kind of the business relationship, right? And like trying to be more understanding of both parties, right? Like I'm saying, I know what I'm doing. As far as like indie VR developers go, I'm doing great. Like I'm fine. I know how to promote my stuff. I know who to go to if I need help promoting my stuff. As far as like their opinions, I mean, everyone can have their opinion. I've got tons of opinions that people disagree with, and like I engage with those. If you say something stupid, like on Twitter, about VR development, I'll tell you that I think it's stupid, and we can have a conversation about it. It's not like, I don't know. I think that as far as like understanding the VR developer's point of view, just understand that like it's probably different than what you think it is. And like this is why I ask questions on Twitter like I did yesterday about like I want to gauge what people think about kind of the industry on the back end. Like I was asking how many sales do you think a VR title needs to make to be successful? And the answers I wanted, but I wanted people to genuinely guess, because I don't know what other people think. Like, somebody who's just a VR gamer might think that like indie VR titles are selling like millions of copies, or that like you only need to sell, 1,000 copies to be successful. And I got a lot of answers like that. And like, it's interesting to me to hear what people think about what's actually going on. And I think we just need to keep having these conversations, right? I don't have any advice on what to do about your opinions. Like, let me know your opinion and we can talk about it.
All right. And with that, I do open the debate floor, whether you want to talk about what we're talking about now or bring up in the past. I think this is all a good fluid conversation we have going on.
Yeah, so the same way I don't know everything, I think I know my job pretty well. And I think I know how to push something out decently well, at least for my numbers. My numbers are small in the YouTube grand scheme of things, very small, but big in the VR space. And that's what I know well. And you know game development very well. Just so you guys know, Blair, in case you don't know his background, I don't want to get these wrong. Maybe you should say, but you're 20. You said this in a tweet to me. So, a 25-year vet, game design. You worked for Rockstar. You've accumulated multiple awards. You're good at what you do, is what I'm trying to say. And you've been in the industry for a long time. And you've been in the VR industry since consumer VR was even thought of in this decade. But I will say, just like how I don't know everything, I think that your mindset of thinking you know everything because you are accomplished is holding you back. I not that it's going to affect you short term, but long term. I think that taking in more feedback from people that think differently than you, that are similarly accomplished in other areas, would be greatly helpful. Not only for you, but there's a few other developers as well that I think can take the same advice. I'll just throw one, Anton, right away. I think that it's kind of people that were very good. They're very good at their job, and I think they know exactly what to do. But things aren't 25 years ago.
Wait, are you saying that you think Anton needs to take some advice?
No, I'm saying that there are better ways to handle things than how things have been handled. I mean, I don't want to be repetitive about the Discord thing and community
but
thing.
I think you just chose like the two probably most like successful indie VR developers, that aren't like
Anton's doing great. I think he's very close-minded and pessimistic, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's working for him.
For now.
Yeah, like, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Is like I get where you're coming from. I get that you like, but it's not. I'm not saying that I know everything, and it's not that I'm. And like lumping Anton into this is a good example. It's not that we think we're just amazing game developers. It's that we are successfully marketing our own stuff and like doing decently well.
Right. I can also understand from a point of view, you guys are essentially a solo dev working on this very high production project. And from somebody that I also work on, I don't let people touch my content. It's me. Every bit of the editing, every bit of the writing, every bit of the everything. And so I can also understand the feeling of you can also handle marketing, or you could also handle this, or you could also handle that. But I feel like there's so much of an opportunity for you guys in particular to become more than what you are. And I just don't appreciate the pessimistic attitude about constantly attacking content creators without really having a good conversation like we are now. And I don't appreciate, a lot of the grifter things, and then also the tuning out of community or things like that. I just think that there's so much. It could be. You guys can all be way better and well-rounded. I think there are other studios that maybe take that too far, and they take community too far, and they have no substance. You guys have the substance.
But, okay, so what here's where you get the pushback though, is like if I was constantly out in the public saying that I think that you are underperforming and there are things that you could do, like I'm not a YouTuber, right? Wouldn't you want to tell me to fuck off? Like, what do I know about what you're doing? Like, it's like you're telling me that I'm running my business wrong, and like, but and you're choosing people that are clearly doing it right also. And like, I understand that you think like, whatever, we could be more like, I don't know what, like fluffy, soft, but like, that's not us. People nowadays, like, they latch onto like a personality as much as more than they do a brand, right? It's like, it's why you see like Wendy's shit talking on Twitter all the time, right? Or like, it's because people value, you're not going to follow a brand on Twitter because that's boring. But like, if somebody's got opinions, and yeah, sure, maybe they're opinionated about especially the industry that they work in, like, it's working. And like, having somebody else come in, and it's like people that do like armchair dev shit, like a lot, there's a specific journalist that does it all the time that infuriates developers. They're like, shut up, you know? Or like, like I said, if I came in and said, you know, I love what you're doing, I think it's really great, but I think you're doing it wrong. Like, it's infuriating.
I think the biggest problem here is I see your game, and I'm very in tune with the VR community. At least I like to think I am. And nobody knows your game. This is why I say, not that you're doing something wrong, but you keep making the game. You keep doing the best you can to make the best game you possibly can. Here's what I can do to help. I'm not charging money. I'm not asking for clout back. It's mutually beneficial. It's good games, good content that I could recommend and give people a place to go to. And really, I know my side, you know your side. I'm not trying to say that you're doing things fundamentally wrong.
So
I'm trying to say, this is what I know, that's what you know. You know game development, I know marketing.
But you did a video and you did a stream, so your people now do know my game. Like, who am I missing, and how do I get them? Like, if I use every outlet I can, like, if you're on Reddit, a VR Reddit, and you don't know about my game, I don't know what you're doing. You're not using it right. Same with Twitter, VR Twitter. Like, I'm always in the top VR influencers on Twitter based on that crap. Like, where's left? I've had articles on Upload, articles on Road to VR. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, just starting a Discord doesn't let more people know about my game. That's just somewhere for them to go once they know about it. So I don't know what you're actually saying I'm not doing is.
I think you're not building a platform around yourself in your game. Obviously I think of things as very content creator mindset. That YouTube, Twitch, Discord, all these things, like I rely on them every single day, and yeah, I mean, I believe in them. And so whenever I see somebody that is actively not building up that community, yeah, of course, I see that you're missing out on something. I don't want to keep hammering. I've already made my point.
No, I know, but like, I'm just asking what specifically. Like, you think, okay, Discord, fine, but you think I should start a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what? What exactly? How do you build a platform around a game? Like, what does that mean?
Let me do this. I'm going to give you guys some time to think about that. I think another question coming up will actually bring that, but I do want to open the floor to Thrill on the hot seat next, and we can circle back that as he thinks about the answer on that. Little bit of a change of subject, but I think this will come full circle. Thrill, there are a lot of questions that I think you and I could discuss on clickbait, exaggeration of headlines used by VR influencers, and you've already brought it up that blind hype is really the main way companies are going to be working with influencers. But you did recently tweet that the problem right now is that there's really not much we can do about this based on how YouTube functions. Is that actually true, though? Or is it possibly the case because no one's willing to push VR content forward by taking continued chances that may actually be a detriment in the end? Are really people playing it safe right now?
Right, so I'm going back to the very top about clickbait first. So it doesn't matter whether you're talking about general tech or you're talking about car reviews or you're talking about alcohol reviews. It doesn't matter. On YouTube, things in general tend to go towards the hyperbolic and extreme, especially in terms of title, thumbnail. That's something I've been used to for a long time. I mean, I watched YouTube way more than, or for way longer than I've been doing YouTube. And so, I think it's gotten a little out of hand to an extent with the extreme hype and every single quest update being insane or amazing or yada yada. But you have to understand, to a huge extent, our hands are kind of tied because we're constantly looking for growth. And if you're not growing, then you're stagnating and you're falling behind because YouTube's growing. I'm going to lightly quote Linus Tech Tips on a video that he did on the same topic because he got the same shit. YouTube's growing, the platform's growing, tech is growing, and obviously now VR is growing incredibly fast. And so if you're not growing and if you're not keeping up with the trends, then you are falling behind. And so this constant, dude, it's annoying. I know it's annoying to get 50 videos. Quest 2 updates amazing. Quest 2 updates amazing every single week. That's annoying as shit. I hate it. I mean, I feel weird titling my videos certain ways that I've been titling them for a long time because there's 50 people doing the same thing or more than that even. But that's just kind of how YouTube works. It's proven to work. In fact, I ran a little experiment for the past month. I've been headlining anything but Oculus. I headlined HTC for 3 weeks straight, and with very non-clickbait titles. We're talking the HTC Vive Air is weird. HTC's new headsets are troublesome, and 2 new headsets were announced. Those are my 3 titles, and for those weeks, my statistics have been lower than they've been in a long time. And then, you know what? I bounced right back this past week, and I said, this new Quest, or the Oculus Quest 2 gets another massive update, which I don't really think that's hyperbolic or clickbait, in my opinion. People will disagree with me, and I'm glad to argue that. But I got the same amount of views in one day that I did in a month on all of those HTC videos. And so our hand is forced to cover Oculus content because there's a massive Oculus Quest 2 audience that just joined VR and they're eager for content and they will click on that content. And that's fine. That's cool. We will all keep doing it until the trend changes, which the trend will change. Don't worry. If you're tired of it now, give it a few months or a few weeks. Trends change. If you think that any of these content creators are going to purposely shoot themselves in the foot by not including the words huge update, you're wrong. You're gonna think I'm gonna take 50% less views because I didn't put the word massive in my title. Fuck you. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the criticism and I'm going to defend myself for it. There are people that take it a little out of hand. We're talking. They talk about an update video for 12 minutes. And they've gotten they're hyping it up a little too high. That's their problem. I don't think this is a problem representative of YouTube or representative of VR YouTubers. This is a problem representative of the entire platform, YouTube as a whole. The platform is built off of reaction, and you have to incite that reaction. As unhuman as that sounds, believe me, it eats away at my heart and my mind and my soul every single time I post a video, because the only thing that's important is that title and thumbnail. And so, yes, we will continue putting that huge in there. If there's another part of the question, I just rambled on for a while.
No, it's all right. I was going to cut you off in a second to open up this floor.
Yeah.
Blair, you got the floor, my man.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We live in an algorithm-driven world now, and it's depressing. It's the same with everything, like you said. It's not just YouTube. It's Twitter, right? Like I can see.
Yeah.
You see people with just like hundreds of thousands of followers and zero engagement, but there's tricks, there's reasons why your Twitter or tweets that get a lot of engagement, right? It's like people will see that somebody they know responded to your tweet or liked it or is arguing with you, and those things put it onto their feed and drive them to it. It's the same thing with YouTube, right? Like people, once something starts to trend, it snowballs. It's like, and the fact that you've got it figured out, while some of these smaller YouTubers that have been doing it, for 7 years still are getting 10 views on their video, says something. It says like you said, you have to do this, otherwise you're wasting your life, right? Not that those smaller YouTubers are wasting their lives. Like if they're passionate about it and they're not trying to make money, then that's fine. Like they can do what they do. And it's annoying that we live in a world driven by these algorithms, and that learning to manipulate the algorithms is kind of the game we're playing now, rather than like I could do a tweet right now that I could drive massive engagement to that means nothing to me, just with tricks, right? It's like ask a stupid question that you're going to get answers to, and boom, like you're going to get a ton of engagement, because like the right person will respond to it, and then everybody else will have that show up on their timelines because like Twitter's algorithm thinks that it's relevant to them. I don't know. I have nothing to say about it, and I don't really have a problem with it either. But it gets to the point where I do ignore a lot of YouTube videos with the O face, pink background, because
I think all of us have a pink background right now.
It just gets lost in the mix, right? It's like there was the red outline thing before too. It's like I subscribe to a couple hundred YouTube channels. So if I'm scrolling through my subscription feed and there's a line of 10 of them that are all the same thumbnail and the same title, I'm only going to click on the one that I think is the best one. So in a case where it's YouTube videos, that might be yours now that I'm subscribed to you. So there'll be a line of 10 Star Wars pinball videos saying how awesome it is. And I'm going to look for, okay, well, what's my favorite opinionated person think about this? And then the rest of them die. And that's just, whatever. That's how it is.
I want to go to our final two sponsors for today before we have the last set of questions here that I think will bring us full circle and everything. But a big thank you to the final two sponsors today's stream. One of them being perennial favorite, SideQuest. SideQuest is a place to get more apps for your Oculus Quest. It is a completely safe way to enjoy some cutting-edge content in VR and expand the capability of your standalone VR headset. They make it very easy for users to access content that is not yet available on the Oculus Store, and as a proving ground for developers to validate their content and kickstart their communities. It is completely free for users and developers, and they have a lot of pride that it will always be that way. Now guys, SideQuest, they've always been consumer focused. It's because of them, and we all know this before App Lab, they were the only way many developers got onto the Oculus Quest store. They will be near and dear to my heart. I will die, ride or die for SideQuest, guys. Thank you, SideQuest, for being a sponsor of this stream. And finally, our last sponsor today is also another content creator out there, a newer content creator, State of VR. It is run by Rob, where he hopes to bring you guys the latest and greatest when it comes to news, latest games and innovations related to everything virtual reality. If you want to join the discussion or just looking for someone to play with, subscribe now. I will be honest, Rob from State of VR, he's someone I have very recently met, very new to me, but he did outreach with actually no intention of having this spotlight for the stream, but he did donate to a great cause. He had absolutely no ambition other than just being a good guy and donating. So thank you, State of VR. You are definitely, in my book, an asset to VR. And thank you for supporting a great cause, raising money directly funding children's learning in school right now. So thank you. That is all our sponsors for today. Again, thank you to every single sponsor who is part of this. We will go back to the debate floor. Blair, I want to give you one final question that harkens back a little bit to what we talked about. This is actually an impromptu question, so I'll word it kind of live here. When you brought up that question when we were talking about Discord and what you should do, what is the direct advice? My question would be, do you have any interest in getting onto the Oculus Quest store? Do you have any interest in developing a version of Lo-Fi or any type of game for the Oculus Quest store? Because that is honestly where the visibility is right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. I back when you had to, I don't know if it's still like this, but you had to pitch a Quest title to Oculus and get approval ahead of time. I did that with a spin-off of Lo-Fi. The issue is like I would be working on it right now, but because of the pandemic and stuff, I was seriously slowed down on Lo-Fi. So I'm already a bit off a lot to chew on for Lo-Fi. So I can't split like a good business decision would be to just make a Quest game right now, right? But I'm on the hook for Lo-Fi. It's like I have to finish it. So that's the only reason I'm not on Quest. And that's also the reason why we are kind of concentrating more on PS5 right now, is because there's, the PC VR numbers are not where they used to be. I mean, not that they used to be good, but I mean they're not trending up in the way that like a PSVR title or a Quest title would be.
Absolutely. And we'll open the debate for a quick follow-up question for you, Blair. I did see the comment, and I might be off on this. Was there actually a demo source that you're working on actively for the Quest that I was not aware of?
Is there a demo? Yeah.
For the Oculus Quest.
Yeah. So we put together a pitch for Oculus using Google Seurat, which is a really cool way of baking a 3D environment to still work in 6 degrees of freedom, so you can move around in it. And it's a really good looking demo. The first thing I did was when I got my Quest, Oculus was asking if I could port Technolust to it, and I, for one, didn't want to do that, but I wanted to see what I could do on the Quest, and sure enough, you can make like some pretty amazing visual stuff on there. So I've got a little demo called Agency, which is what the pitch was called for the spin-off of Lo-Fi. So if you want, I can. I don't want to say this publicly because I don't want to send links to everybody, but maybe I'll put it on SideQuest or something. That would be maybe an easy thing to do. It's really just a graphic tech demo, just showing off the fidelity of the Quest. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that tonight, actually.
I know a lot of people love the stuff you do. They love Technolust. I know that's not as much talked about these days, but you make good stuff. Thrill, I will give you the floor. I know this was maybe more of a one-sided question, so I don't know if there's...
What can you add?
Yeah, I don't really have much to add there. That was all Blair.
I was going to say, that was definitely more of a one-sided question. Well,
no, I disagree with everything you just said.
Thurl, we'll end it here with you before closing remarks. For time's sake, I do want to value everyone's time. This one's a little off topic, but it's still important. I think this is something I want all VR influencers in the chat to kind of listen to. I had a nice fireside chat, a one-on-one interview with creator and CEO of ProPup VR, Ryan Engel. And a point was made that I thought was interesting, that at this point, Facebook and Oculus are really just advertisers of VR. Their store visibility is what matters the most, and it puts Oculus in the role of the advertiser. The question has to be asked, though, did the VR YouTube scene, which I think back in 2016-17 is different than it is now, has it basically turned into less apparent advertising at this point? What are your thoughts on that?
So Facebook being the ultimate advertiser for, especially being in the role of advertiser of store visibility, is even more apparent now with advertisements being directly on the Oculus store. It's only on mobile for now. People getting the idea that ads are coming to your headset right now. No, it's on the mobile app, but advertisements for games within the app are coming. And so, yeah, they're advertisers making money off of people. They're making double money. They're making sales off the games, and then they're making money off the advertisements from developers spending their money to promote their game. Yeah, that's brutally apparent. In terms of content creators being walking advertisements, I want to tread lightly with this, but in a way, yeah, it's something that I'm constantly thinking about whenever I'm making a video reviewing something, or I make a list. I do this often for headsets. I've got another one for the Valve Index on the way, but I have a Quest 2. Here's all of the accessories that I could throw on this. Yeah, I'm essentially advertising for companies. Is it nefarious? No. Do I believe in every single product that I put on there? Yes. Are you going to call me a walking advertisement because I made a 10-minute long video about some accessories that I like, that I would like other people to buy, that I sometimes get affiliate money from? I don't know. That's up to you. I will tell you, it's always been an honest thing, and it's never been my intention ever to be just an advertiser of products or of headsets or of games. It is my job to make entertaining content, number one. This is why I do virtually odds. This is why I do commentary pieces. This is why I do fun videos like the 7 types of VR users. I love those things. I will also make product videos. I will not be getting paid for this, other than maybe affiliate money. But it will always come from, okay, sorry. My job is to connect people that like my content and to make good content, connect those people that are looking for solutions or games or the best headset or this or that or that. That is what I do, is I connect people with the best thing for them. And it's up to somebody if they want to ever buy anything. I am brutally aware of the fact that sometimes things can come off as addy or advertisement heavy. And it's something that I really try and be careful about. Make sure I always say it's my opinion that I like this, or there's other alternatives. So yeah, I think it's something that everybody should keep in their mind, that you watch a video about products, in a way, it's sort of an advertisement. But is MKBHD's videos about phones advertisements? No, it's content about things. Maybe you want to buy it after you hear about it. It's to call me an advertiser or to call all other content creators advertisers is incredibly disingenuous, and it's not seeing the point.
And the debate floor is open for the last time, Blair.
Yeah, I think you kind of said what I mean. That you're showing things that you think are dope.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to make dope shit. I don't need to worry about it. If I'm doing it right, then it goes on its own. It's like, because the content creators will want to promote it, right? It's not so, like, that's what I'm saying about like paying for it, or just like even like begging for it. It's like, if you need to do that, you've already failed. So You know, like you're just putting money in somebody's pocket that doesn't deserve it if you have to do that. And I think, like, when I say things like that, it comes across as an attack. It's not an attack on anybody except, like, ideas. I'm telling you that it's dumb to give your money to somebody to advertise your game, because you shouldn't need to do that. If you need to do that, it's not going to work. It's not like, unless we're talking about something different, right? If we're talking about like a publisher and you're going on PlayStation or something, sure, fine, maybe. Maybe you need TV ads for the PlayStation users, but for VR, it's not there yet. It's people who are into VR have a source that they get their information from, be it Reddit or be it Thrill or be it like Twitter. And if you're on like 4 of those things and your content is good, then it will get grabbed onto, and don't worry about it. And this is an adage that's been around since, like, I was working on PC games in the 90s, and it's screenshots sell. That's it. It's like somebody sees a screenshot of something and they're like, that looks dope, I'm going to check that out. It's not, that's it. So like if somebody can't see your content and know right away that they're going to be into it, then you're fighting an uphill battle, and it's not worth it, probably.
Right. I think that if there are content creators watching this and they've either taken money from specifically direct from VR developers, not some ad agency, which honestly they're getting their money from the developer anyways, but if you're taking money directly from a developer, I'm telling you right now, you should really think twice about it. Every dollar matters to a small developer and any developer. Every copy matters. And taking thousands of dollars from a project, even if that is marketing money, it feels weird. And it's something that I don't necessarily agree with. I think that promotion of especially games, something as subjective as games, should be done, what's the right word? Genuinely. And because I like this game and I want to share it with people, not because I got paid $3,000 for it. And I think that in the VR community, especially right now, where things aren't exactly financially viable for anybody, yeah, I think that we need to have this tighter knit community where we work together and we're symbiotic, rather than old school. VR gaming is not where traditional gaming is. Yeah, okay, if you're a normal game YouTuber, and you have 1 million subscribers, you could very well easily charge 10 grand for something to get 1 million views off something. The VR space isn't there, and it's not going to be there for a hot minute. And we need to stop acting like we're there, and we need to like really support each other and be symbiotic and help each other out. That's my biggest thing. That's honestly that's the reason why I'm here, is because I want to promote that symbiotic relationship. I want, if I go up, we all go up. If you go up, we all go up. We are doing this together, and the people will be weeded out. The devs that aren't in it, they'll be weeded out. Content creators that aren't in it, they'll be gone. Believe me. So, I don't know.
I'm gonna wrap it up here, but I'm gonna give each of you one more spot. What I see and what I hear today has been nothing but great stuff to hear. I think from all of us, I won't speak for all of us. I'll speak for myself. I've noticed a shift in the past probably year. There are OG content creators getting jaded in ways, not for any negative reasons, but we're all feeling VR in different ways, and the content is not maybe accelerating to the degree we always wanted. I think these debates are very important because we're ending the echo chamber of agreement cycles of the same stuff every single day. What's Oculus doing? What's Facebook doing? This is the content, and these are the opinions. I've watched this chat this entire fucking time. That it matters to people. They want to see this type of discussion. I want to give each of you whatever time. I'm not gonna put a time on it, but I'd appreciate if you guys don't go 10 minutes each because we got stuff to do. But I want to give each of you the chance to speak one final time, uninterrupted, on what you specifically want to see from VR culture say in the next year, whether that is the type of games or the shift in momentum of how we speak about it and how it grows? It's a loaded question. I think, Thrill, you're probably best to start. Give Blair a chance to think on this one. I'm going to put you in the hot seat, Thrill, and give you the floor.
So VR, I think, is in a special spot with its community. It's got one of the most diverse internet communities that I've seen ever. You've got you've got army vets playing Onward. You've got women in VR chat. You've got kids in Rec Room. You've got such a diverse group of people. It's very special to VR, and that beauty, that thing that all brings us together. I want to emphasize that, and I want to push on that, and I want to push on that as a real strength of VR. It's not a 99% male led industry, which is sick. I think being a little more supportive of each other in general would go a long way. Whether that's with the big companies and content creators, or that's individual people that are criticizing a game on Steam because a small feature doesn't work from a single solo developer and they review bomb the game. I think this entire community needs to understand where we are at right now, how small we are, but how strong we are, and come together a little better. I think we had this down a little bit better a couple years ago, a year ago, but I think that just realizing where we're all at and where we can go from here. We need everybody. We need everyone's help. It's not a one man that's going to do it. It's not Mark. Mark Zuckerberg might be doing a lot of shit, but he's not the only one, right? We do this together.
And Blair, bring us home.
All right, I'm going to take the negative side.
Do it.
So I think that's what people expect from me. I think we need to get rid of some of the problems, or at least realize that they're problems. Somebody, God, I wish I could attribute this to somebody. Somebody said something about toxic positivity in the VR industry, which you see a lot of on Twitter. It adds to that kind of unwarranted hype for things. It adds to if there's a genuine problem that you're calling out, people just pounce on you and call you a jerk for and pretend oh no, VR is amazing and everything's perfect. And I think that, as nice as it is, when you're trying to point out a genuine issue, it's not helpful. And there's the problem of the kind of grifting that I'm talking about. I wanted to mention something that you touched on earlier also, Thrill, was that it's not cheap to buy engagement and buy followers. But if you already have a bunch of money and you want to make a name for yourself, and it's the old adage that it takes money to make money, right? If you get in early, you buy a bunch of engagement, you buy a bunch of followers, that will snowball, and you can now charge developers $20,000 to do a spot on the game. We need to call that shit out too. It gets called out in the back end, but when I'm hearing this particular person, and I look at their engagement and I look at the suspicious numbers, and I hear a poor indie developer that doesn't know any better saying this guy who's very popular, or looks very popular anyway, wants me to give him this much money to do a video. What should I do? I'm gonna go on Twitter and tell everybody about that. That's bullshit. We need to weed that stuff out. And I do, but that rolls into the toxic positivity thing, whereas if I call that out on Twitter, everyone's like, oh, well, I like that guy, you're an asshole. No, but I'm telling you that what this guy is doing is wrong, So from my perspective, I know I look jaded, but I have reasons to be upset about these things, and just like the plight of indie developers in general, and like the shit they take. I think a lot of times that's misconstrued at like me kind of giving a voice to the problems comes across as jaded. And it's not really jaded. It's just like I'm saying that these are problems.
All right. Guys, I appreciate everyone coming. My final words, I want to speak on each of the parties in here. Thrill, thank you for being here. I will say, you and I have spoken. I'm not super happy with all the content out there. Your content, and I don't mean to blow smoke up your ass here, it does give me hope. You have a lot of younger audiences that watch you. I think the content you provide is educational and entertaining at the same time. And if I had to recommend people to watch certain content creators to give the right news and give the right takes, in my mind, for VR, you are on that very, very short list. So thank you for what you do to VR. Honestly, it does give me hope that content creators are going to be doing it right. Blair, thank you for also being on the stream. I will say this, I don't like when you said that you started that send off with I'll be the pessimistic version, because I don't think that's the right term. I think your voice is critical. I think the toxic positivity is understated. You could have gone way harder on that topic. You bring a different perspective. You bring realism to VR. And honestly, guys, and this is not a plug, Lo-Fi. If you haven't checked it out, my God, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're searching for content. You always say I need more content. Yes, I know it's PC VR, but you got AirLink, all that stuff. If you can play it and you haven't, and you are begging for content, it's on you. It's on you. The content's great. So check out Blair. Please do. These debates are very important to me. There's a lot of content out there that is fluff. There are real discussions that need to be. And if you are in this chat as a content creator or future content creator, take the risk even if it doesn't pay off. These streams lose me subs every single fucking time. We've lost over 100 subs just on this stream alone. It doesn't matter. Follow what you want to do. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of a solution. I'm going dad mode and I will stop that. But thank you to our sponsors for the stream. I will be posting on Twitter in the next couple of days once I get the tally for what we've raised. But I do know we've raised quite a bit of money, funding, I think, a minimum. I think like from what I talked with Peeka, at least a minimum before we even started the stream, 6 to 7 classes were fully funded to get virtual reality books in their classroom. That's amazing. That's what this project is about. If I had one more drink in me right now, I'd probably get more emotional and start crying. Like it's a big deal to me. But thank you guys for this. I hope if Blair or Thrill, you guys would like to, no pressure. I'd love to have you on for a one-on-one chat one time, a little less structured, a little less debatey, and we can talk about more things than just what we've talked about. But thank you again, everybody. I am going to end it here. As always, we'll see you next time, Space Cowboys. See you guys.
Fist bump.